Classic Leap Podcast time!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 324 of the Classic Elite Podcast. My name is Scott, and Bart Simpson over there is actually Kevin. Kevin, what's going on, man?
Hey, guys, we're back. Oh, hold on, let me take this mask off. Hey, we're back.
Right, hey.
We were quarantined for 3 weeks from the last time we had a recording.
Yes, schedules have been insane. Apologize for the inadvertent hiatus. I apologize to Kevin, but also I had to cancel 2 weeks, and Kevin had to cancel one, so...
It was Canada Day the first week.
And the fourth right after
and
that.
the fourth after.
So, we should have thought about that beforehand and just not even tried. Yeah. So happy belated Canada Day.
And happy 4th of July. This is for you guys.
Oh, hey, are you drinking an American beer?
I'm drinking a Toronto brewed beer.
I'm drinking the most American of beers. I'm
Bud Light. Cheers.
Just a Bud Light tonight. Cheers, buddy.
This is a light beer, so.
Okay, there you go. Hey, well, it's a nice summery night, locked in quarantine in July.
But it came better.
It is.
Ontario's down to 111 right now, and Ohio's down to 5, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we're Ohio's not trending that great right now in the bigger areas.
Well, yeah. I mean, the States is kind of like...
But where I'm at, yes, we are doing good.
Yeah.
So
you guys go to Disney World now. That's a thing.
If people want to, that's not my kind of thing, but whatever. Give me golf courses and all that kind of stuff right now. But outside of the COVID stuff and the pandemic going on, man, how's the week been? Or the last 3 weeks? How you been?
Good. Playing a lot of games. Trying to avoid any kind of next gen gaming stuff because I don't want next gen, but I'm gonna get next gen from what I've seen, and I don't want it because the Switch was supposed to be my last console. It sucks how much I want the next gen stuff now. I saw the Ratchet and Clank thing you're talking about, the Portal.
Oh yes. Did it start to click like the oh?
So is that the loading? There's also a woman Clank or Ratchet.
Yeah. Oh, that also looks fun. New mechanic potentials there. Yes, it was the fact that it's just in the entire new world. It blew my mind. Just them being in that little warp tunnel was kind of all that it took to like really seamlessly go in. But it felt like a Ghostbusters thing. Could you imagine that? It was the Ghostbusters tech and like the Hell Portal thing that they did in the game they did like 10 years ago.
Yeah, the one where you go in and teleport somewhere else in the library.
Yeah, couldn't that be just that much more amazing with that? I don't know.
Honestly, after I saw that Ratchet and Clank thing, the Portal thing, I have been getting such a big itch to play Portal 2 again.
Maybe,
and I'm surprised. Platform? I don't care.
Do you own it?
I own it on 360.
So do I. And
I want it on PS4. Or Switch, but I think the Switch would be beautiful since I have it. I'm just gonna lie in bed and play it.
Maybe if what I was hinting at, maybe it'd be a reason to dust off our 360s and play some Portal.
Oh, but then I'm gonna get gold.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Never mind.
Stupid consoles. That shit better stop in the next gen. This whole PlayStation Plus and Xbox Gold nonsense.
I think it's not. Definitely Sony's not going to stop it. And I think Microsoft is going to try to give you so much extra stuff you don't realize that it's the same.
Because Nintendo does it, and I forget that I pay for it because it's only $20 a year.
Yeah.
And I get way more stuff out of that than I do on the PlayStation side of it.
The thing is, I have that Xbox Ultimate. So it's included in that with it. Yeah, so for me it's but anyways, I've been golfing a lot, man. I've got personal projects, work has been insane. So I am happy to be back doing a little bit of podcasting tonight.
And for those watching the video, I did not get a haircut. I have my daughter's hair clip in my head.
Looks good.
If I take it down, I look like a yak because it's been 5-6 months since I had a haircut.
You look like a grungy 1997 Kevin.
Right? I don't know how people have the hair in their face. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, man. I'm
like, it really drives me. I get a headache, and I gotta keep doing this like emo kid from South Park.
Yeah,
it's really bad. Because I usually have my hair like product tinted, like there's like some sort of gel in it that's like slicked.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not going anywhere, so I'm not gonna gel my hair for no reason.
Sure.
So, anyways,
What? Your wife doesn't deserve a little bit of handsome Kevin?
no, she has it every day. Come on. I also trim my beard a bit, you know.
Looking good, right? For being, you look as good as you can, considering
Right?
that you're doing your own manscaping right now.
But I mean, last 3 weeks, nothing's really happened. I watched Hamilton, the musical, because it was on Disney Plus. It's pretty good. Weird Al did a parody. I love that more. I didn't watch any crazy movies or watch any show. Mr. Robot, I'm still watching. I got my wife into it.
Oh,
and I
okay.
also got her into American Vandal.
Oh, yeah.
So we finished season 1, and she's like, so we don't know. Like, I don't want to say the ending to anyone, and we just started watching season 2 this weekend. So
fantastic.
Fuck, I forgot what a good show that is.
I heard the new Unsolved Mysteries, the reboot is pretty good.
Yeah. Oh shit. Thanks for reminding me. So we watched the reboot of Unsolved Mysteries, and it's missing the narrator guy.
Yeah,
which makes sense, but it's missing that little something on top of the show. And I also got that. I think so. See, I got him confused with Twilight Zone. The two narrators.
Oh yeah, that's not Hitchcock either. I used to think Hitchcock was. Anyways, I think I'm wrong.
So
I don't think they're together. Anyways.
So we're watching Unsolved Mysteries, and it's a creepy show, and it sucks because it's called Unsolved Mysteries, so it's unsolved, so there's no happy ending.
Yeah.
And it's even weirder when you look at the ending, and it's like, he's still out there. So, and I'm like, oh shit, this is the age of Twitter and Facebook, right? When you watch Unsolved Mystery in the 80s, you didn't have that.
Yeah.
So I go on Twitter, and people are like, they do like a gif of like, calling the Unsolved Mystery hotline because I found the guy on Facebook. And anyway, so we're watching Unsolved Mysteries. I'm drunk out of my mind because I've been getting drunk a lot recently, and we're watching it. My wife's on the floor because her back hurts, so she's watching it, and I'm on the couch. What's up?
You might want to process that.
Which part?
You said I've been getting drunk recently.
Yeah,
I'm doing a 90-day gaze callback. I'm doing a joke.
Oh, gotcha. I see what you're saying.
Hey, you might want to process that. Sorry.
So
Shout out to 90-day gaze. Sorry, I was listening to that before. I finally got caught up. Like, I'm so hooked. You go on. I'm sorry. It's funny jokes.
So my wife's on the floor. I'm on the couch. We're both watching Unsolved Mysteries. We're both a little hammered. And, we're really into it. It's really creepy. And then I hear like a coming from my daughter's bedroom. And it sounded like her fan. We have a fan on her to keep her cool. And I thought it was my wife's feet cracking. So I didn't call it out. It's one of those, just like a horror movie. I heard something, but it's just a wind kind of situation.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, we hear, and we look at her doorknob, and my daughter's doorknob is turning, like trying, like as if someone on the other side is trying to turn it. And then the door just swings open, and my daughter's standing there in her nightgown, and we're like, "Everything okay?" And she's like, "Yeah." And we're like, "What are you doing up?" She's like, "Can I give you a hug?" I'm like, "Okay." And she comes up to us and gives us a hug. And I'm like, "Is everything okay? Do you want to go to the bathroom?" She's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, well, don't do this again, because what if we weren't out here, right?" So I put her back to bed, and I'm like, "Don't do that again, okay?" And she's like, "Okay." And I put the blanket on and closed the door, and I look at my wife and did the whole like she sleepwalked for the first time. Sleepwalk? Yeah. What's the past tense? She was sleepwalking for the first time ever. That's what it is. Terrified the fuck out of me when that doorknob went digga digga digga, because she never does that. She never opens up her own door. When she's in there, she's in there. My knees went weak. I must have turned pale and like cold sweat within like 5 seconds. I was like, what is, my brain couldn't figure out what was happening.
Sure.
Like, I'm like, what? The doorknob is turning. That's not supposed to happen. Scared the shit out of me. And then I went to bed. And of course, in the background, like the Unsolved Mysteries song.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, and then later that night, I was just like lying in bed thinking, like, what if she like sleepwalks? I look at the top of the stairs and there she is. Like, I was just creeped out the whole night. And thinking, like, what if I look at the baby cam and I just see her standing in the middle of the room, like looking at the camera? I would. With
the only thing is like the beady little eyes, like raccoon. Yeah, you only get that. Oh yeah.
Like it really messed me up for the whole
clearly,
weekend. So I asked her the next day, I'm like, "Do you remember getting up in the middle of the night?" She said, "No." I was like, "Well, don't do that again."
Yeah. Hey, that shit you had no idea that you did, that you couldn't control. Don't do that again.
Yeah, it was awful. But yeah, so that happened while watching Unsolved Mysteries.
Fun.
Good show. Yeah, it's creepy. You have a good alien episode, by the way.
Okay.
And I'm like, wasn't there a UFO episode? And my wife's like, oh yeah, there's one. I'm like, oh yeah, there's one. And it's cool because it's like a UFO story, and you're like, unless other people saw it, who gives a shit? The whole town saw it. Other towns saw it. So it's
all right.
Check it
okay,
out.
fun. Also, I heard the old supermarket sweeps are back on Netflix, so that's shout out to that too.
Wow.
All right, Kevin, are there some new games from Metacritic that we want to go through to talk about, or we want to get right into news? What do you want to do?
Let's get into the games that were released because we missed a couple.
Okay.
I'm going to go over the last 3 weeks.
I hope. Yeah. There's some stuff to talk about.
Death Stranding is finally out on PC. That came out yesterday, meaning Tuesday. By the time this
July 14th of 2020.
Yes. So the PC people are very happy because this game is this PS4 exclusive or
Yes.
was PS4? Yeah. So now the PC people can play this game and walk, which I guess makes sense because now you can't. So you don't have to wear a mask in the game, or do you? I don't know. I never played it. If this game goes on sale for $20, I'll pick it up. It's a Kojima game. It looks stupid, but I want to try it. I want to just try it. It could open a door. Maybe it's like a corpse party situation where I end up loving it.
You wouldn't be alone?
Of other people liking it?
Yeah, a lot of people love this game.
I didn't know they loved it. I thought they liked it for Kojima standards. I don't know. I heard like mixed things about it.
Absolutely mixed, but they're equal and opposite reactions, I suppose. It's got a high reviewer score on Metacritic.
Absolutely.
It's got 87 right now or whatever, so that's not bad.
The other game came out, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2. Now, I was very confused by this title. Because Bloodstained is that Castlevania game, right?
Awesome. Yes.
But this is Curse of the Moon, which is the pre-order bonus that came with. So from my understanding, Curse of the Moon was what the game was supposed to be.
No.
When they first kickstarted it. No? Okay.
No, that's not correct.
Okay. Is that 8-bit one, right?
That is correct, yeah. It was always meant to be Symphony of the Night. The Bloodstain that came out was always the original intent with that high-end graphics. Now, a bonus was they would hire Inti Creates to make a little 8-bit prequel.
Which is what I saw on the Switch and the Vita store,
Correct.
which I thought because it was like $3.99. I'm like, what? That can't be right.
That game, yeah, correct. And now that Inti Creates game, that Curse of the Moon, is an A+. It's awesome.
It's an A+?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
I love it.
So this is a sequel to that 8-bit game.
Yes, it's a sequel to the bonus of the pre-order for Kickstarter.
Okay, that's where I was confused about.
And it's awesome. I love it.
Is it?
Yeah, I bought it this weekend.
Oh, nice. On what?
I'm almost Switch. I think I'm to the end ish. I don't know.
Okay.
How
long is it?
Not very long. The first one wasn't very long.
The first one I heard was like 2 hours.
Yeah, I'd say this one's probably so. Unless, I don't know if it does the Mega Man thing and adds another level to the initial thing. Then there's some more.
I hate when games do that, especially when it's just repeated bosses.
easy,
I'm like, I don't want to do this. I thought I was done with this.
Normally I don't, but I have a soft spot for Mega Man 2 or the Mega Man. They get a pass for me, but in general I do agree with you. But anyways,
Fair.
Yeah, Curse of the Moon 2, I like it. I think the music is better. There's also some different mechanic change. All right, I'll talk about it later.
It's funny. I was playing Switch. And I saw without even looking at the person who popped up on my Switch, it said Castlevania Anniversary Edition or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Dustin. And I see Vogue Nasty. I'm like, yeah, Dustin. Right away. It's like if you probably saw Binding of Isaac without even seeing the person's name, you know it's me.
It could be Dumbass though, because I'm friends with both of you guys.
What? Dumbass? Add me on the fucking Switch, homie.
Yeah.
I've been talking to him on Twitter too. He's good at that game. Me, not so much. Deadly Premonition 2 finally came out, The Blessing in Disguise. I'm intrigued. Not $20 intrigued, but I'm intrigued. I'll check it out. Stories of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town, the Harvest Moon game, which I guess it's not. Story of Seasons. I thought that was Harvest Moon. Was it not? Did they change the name? Who cares? Paper Mario, the Origami King came out, or is coming out on July 17th for the Switch.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, I
thought I just saw that announced or something.
Right? 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's coming out, and I think after this game is when they're going to start doing the remastered Mario games that we heard them say that is happening.
Oh, that
so I think they wanted to
thing of Galaxy and all that. That'd be
So I think they wanted to get this game out of the way first, and then hopefully they announce those other games. But
Dude, sign me up. I have a Wii in my room just in case I'm in the mood for Mario Galaxy. Because I have RetroArch on the PC I have in there, so like it's right there for kind of just that. It's reviewing it. You know, it seems like if you're a Paper Mario fan, there's a good chance you'll enjoy it, right?
I never hated Paper Mario. I just never loved it. It's how like any Yoshi Island games or Yoshi World, I hate it, but I play it because it's Mario or Nintendo. But Paper Mario, it was like the Mario and Luigi RPG games. I never hated it, but I never loved it.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. It was like I did 40 hours, but I was never like, oh, just end. Or I was never like, oh, I never want this to end. I was just kind of like, just do your thing.
Yeah.
So that's going to come out on July 17th. I don't see. Oh, of course, the big game, Ghost of Tsushima. Tsushima. That came out.
Yeah,
I have no idea what it's about, but I saw that people on Twitter were going crazy about it. So,
it's a samurai game, but the interesting thing is that who made the? Oh my god!
That other samurai game. That was like
no. That's the From Software game. No. They did Infamous. This is the people that did that Infamous game.
Really?
So it's like it's Western people making a samurai game.
Okay.
An open world samurai game. So it's pretty cool. God, let me click on. I'm mad at myself. I'm blanking on that. Sucker Punch. God bless it. Come on.
Oh,
how'd I forget that?
Punch, yeah.
But that's interesting that a Western developer doing a ancient Japanese game.
Wait,
not ancient.
Who's Insomniac did Infamous, didn't they? Or am I making things up?
Let's double check. I get Infamous and Prototype maybe mixed up. Sucker Punch. What game did I say? Infamous.
Infamous.
Let's
by Insomniac.
Check. Sucker Punch Productions. Infamous. First Light. Infamous. Second Son. Infamous. Sucker Punch definitely did.
Who the hell's Insomniac? Did I just make that up?
No. Insomniac does. Hold on. Like, I think that maybe Insomniac did. Not BioShock. No. Hold on. Come on. Oh. This is driving. People listening are going, you idiots. Why do you have a podcast? You don't even fucking know Insomniac. All right. I'm going to cheat.
Oh, they did. Fuck me. Sunset Overdrive. Spider-Man.
Oh, and Spider-Man. Yeah, there we go. They just got bought by Sony. Okay.
So I was thinking Sunset Overdrive or Sucker Punch.
And Spyro and Ratchet. Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Holy shit. Man, we're good at this. We should start a podcast one day.
Hey.
Yeah.
You get what you pay for. I haven't used that describing our show in a long time, so. I don't know. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff, I guess, to talk about. But the Ghost of Tsushima, I saw an article on Kotaku that it seems like Japanese reviewers were giving it, like, hey, nice job. Nice job. I guess it was very interesting, the Kotaku article I was reading. If I remember to link it, I will. It got into, the ancient history of, like, kanji, like, the pronunciations, like, whether it's the Japanese or the Chinese pronunciation of the kanji characters, because, like, Japan had their language, but it didn't, again, I'm paraphrasing from the article, but I had no idea. This was really fascinating. It was all spoken. They hadn't written it down in, like, the 5th century or whatever. And so they have their own pronunciations that started eventually representing with kanji or whatnot. So they had their own pronunciations for words, which is why. So what's interesting is since there's a delineation between Chinese pronunciations of kanji and Japanese, they would translate, for lack of a better term, in the old, like, Japanese way of doing it. Like, there's some really cool attention to detail with the language. I guess is maybe the best way I could have said it.
Huh.
So read the article from Kotaku.
Is it a dead language?
No. It's like the old way of saying something. It's like it's an incredible attention to detail of the era. Maybe it's more like Shakespearean English
Okay.
versus like the way we speak now. Like, so
Yeah.
maybe using a proper translation from that era versus using the current translation.
Okay.
But I don't know, reading the Kotaku article, it was very fascinating. It seemed like a really awesome attention to detail from that perspective.
Oh, all right. That's cool.
Sounds like one of those things where I'm like, God, they got this a run on this, and you're like, great.
Yeah. Cool. Nintendo or
Yeah,
Mario.
yeah, they got language right. Impressive.
That's
I don't know.
awesome, man.
Hey, Ether, what's up, dude? Buenos noches to you too. Beard and not as much, but yeah, I know. I got a meeting in the morning, so I didn't shave before the podcast. Pre-Chinese adoption. Japanese is like native Maya compared to Castilian Spanish. If that helps. You should be embarrassed. You're Portuguese. Just like your neighbor.
I am embarrassed for being Portuguese.
No. Being
I
Portuguese
was
gotta
just
be
joking.
rad. All right. Well, I think that's kind of it. I mean, Super Hot Mind Control Delete came out. I heard Giant Bomb talking about it. It seems like they didn't like it, or Jeff Gerstmann, didn't seem to like it as much as Super Hot VR, or the first one, maybe. Seems so good. It's still super hot. So, yeah, that's the last one I wanted to mention, I guess. All right, man. Well, I guess it's time to talk about the news.
Weirdly enough, most of our news is Nintendo related, and I did not plan for that to happen. It just kind of happens. I can talk about Last of Us too, and how people are getting death threats because people hate the game because people have their own agenda. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna ignore it. Let's talk about happy stuff.
I got Last of Us 2 on my what we've been playing for entirely different reasons. I have lost all interest in ever playing Last of Us or
Really?
Last of Us 2. Yeah. Ooh, stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Okay. A sealed copy of Super Mario Brothers sells for $114,000. Now, what's interesting about this news story?
My mom sent me a picture of the local newspaper having an article of this. Is how fucking big of a deal this was.
I was about to say, I saw this on my local news station.
Yes.
I was like, what the hell is this? It's like coronavirus, pandemic, riot.
Yes,
Super Mario sells for what? What the fuck?
I'm like, Citation, Mom. Yes, Monica. You know what I mean? Like,
so we got our sources from unexpected sources. It's like when Pokemon Go was big and like you hear it on the news. You're like, what the? You guys even know what Pokemon is? I don't, mind you, but yeah. So a sealed copy of Super Mario sells for $114,000, which is pretty surprising considering that they were giving this game away like fucking AOL discs back in the day.
but not really.
Okay. I'll just go stand over here then.
Well,
It's funnier in audio.
Yes. But you know what I mean? No, you know what? Your chair creaked just perfectly, so I think it's going to come across audio as well.
Nice.
It is part of the, it's one of the very first runs. It's like the first Ferrari, the first Ford or whatever. And it's perfectly sealed. It's as new as it could ever be. Yeah.
I guess that's the part, is that it's perfectly sealed.
Yes, Kevin, obviously, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is Super Mario. They make coasters out of these. People just trying to make clocks, right?
Yeah. I mean, I still don't understand why, because I'm sure there's more sealed copies out there. This wasn't hard to find.
This is a verifiable test market copy.
Oh, okay.
It's not that it's a sealed one. It's a verified. It's kind of like this was next to that stadium events that was rare. In that one aisle in that one street in New York that had 8 copies of this thing or whatever, So it is verifiable to be unbelievably early.
I don't know. Like, remember how we were talking about buying the PlayStation, this Nintendo PlayStation, like back in the day, like 7 months ago? That I would step over my own mother to get, because I'd be like, motherfucker, you've never seen this before. No, you can't play it, but you've never seen this before.
Sure.
It's in my fucking drawer.
I have an absolute opposite. I'm an entirely polar opposite of you.
Whereas this thing, I'm like, it's a sealed Mario test.
Yeah.
and they're like, "Who cares? I have 4 at home." Like,
my
or not.
my lizard brain goes, I'm going to have the first of millions. Everybody knows what Super Mario is. Everybody has played this game. And I've got the best one.
Boxed. The best boxed. The game is the same. The best boxed.
I'm telling you, it's my lizard brain firing. I have no interest in
best one.
I don't want to have to explain it. Like, I don't want to have to be like, look, if Nintendo and Sony got together, like my mom would be unimpressed with the Nintendo PlayStation, right? If I was like, Mom, I got the very first fucking Mario, she'd be like, I know what that is. Like having the first Barbie, you know, like
but it's not the first Mario. It's the first of many.
First
Mario.
of it's a small look.
I get it's a numbered hockey
I
card.
can't really articulate it. Like my gut tells me I want that Mario.
But it's like I have the first of many Mario games, or I have the only PlayStation Nintendo game system.
I don't know why, Kevin.
I have a Bigfoot Bill comic written by Doug Tenaple, which is the creator of Earthworm Jim.
Okay.
And I have this comic that I kickstarted or whatever because I like his art and like Earthworm Jim. So I bought it. And I tell people, check out this thing. What does it look like? And they're like, oh, it looks just like Earthworm Jim. I'm like, it is Earthworm Jim, but it's Bigfoot Bill because he didn't have the rights to Earthworm Jim. So he created his own character again. And like, cool. They open up the first page. I'm like, that's his signature. He signed his copy. And they're like, whoa, that's fucking awesome. That's the difference between the many comic books or many Nintendo Mario games and the only one that has a signature on it. That's how I feel with it. Nobody cares that you have this cool thing. It's if you have the only thing.
Sure, but I would actually say that your argument could go to, I have one of the only that's sealed like this. Like, there are only 100 of these made, and there's only 3 to be known. Like, it was the pilot, it was the beta, it was a prototype almost. You know what I mean? And it's so etched in my mind. No, we absolutely aren't. Like, it's just like, it's like trying to convince you that I like cotton candy flavored ice cream better, and you're like, no, I want strawberry. It's like, no, but you're crazy, man. The cotton candy's fucking awesome. And you're like, no. That's what it is.
Never mind.
It's all nuts.
I bought a cotton candy drink the other day.
Okay.
Like made by like this weird
Bang?
company I've never heard of.
Was it Bang?
Oh, who?
Was it called Bang? Was it an energy drink?
It wasn't an energy drink. No,
Oh,
it was like
there's an energy.
You know those
drink
2-liter bottles that like look like small propane tanks?
Okay, yes.
It was that. It was like $1, and it's like all the like the cover or the label said like all this fucking sugar. Like it just said like just buy me. It was like neon blue. Like you look at it, you're like my eyes.
Yeah.
And I opened it and went like all the carbonation was. No, there was a lot. It just. And then I smelled it. I'm like, oh shit, that's cotton candy. And I drank it. And I was, oh yeah. My teeth started hurting.
Yeah.
But it was delicious. It wasn't even like. You looked at the back of it, it's like produced by Coca-Cola, produced by Pepsi. This is like produced by, and I'm like, those aren't words, those are symbols. But it was delicious.
They can't even label it. They're only twitching from sugar. Either on the chat says most people would be extremely confused if a game went with that price if it wasn't combined with the story and the gameplay quality of Halo 3, Mass Effect, and Lord of the Rings combined.
Oh yeah, rare items usually have a story.
Yeah.
If I fart out my Nintendo PlayStation, people are gonna be like, "So."
I don't know who he's. I don't know based on that reading that if he is pro PlayStation or pro sealed. Honestly, Kevin, like my rationale really is super shallow. It is. On my wall, I would rather display like in a shadow frame, that somewhere like above my toilet or something in my bathroom, so everybody would see it that comes over, versus like the Sony PlayStation. It'd be hard to display that where people would try to notice that it was. So it's a shallow vein reason as well that I would want the Mario.
I guess I would want it for myself, and that's the difference. I wouldn't care to show people.
I guess I would be more of like peacocking with it or whatever.
Yeah. Like I have a Simpsons script signed by the whole cast,
That's rad.
and that's on my bookshelf in like a plastic sleeve. Like I don't show that to anyone unless I like.
Oh, unless
do.
they like get in your inner circle, you have to like. Kevin's got to really love you to show you the signed stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, check it out. I'm on a Simpsons Facebook group, and I'm like, oh yeah, motherfucker, check this out. They're like, oh, you met him? No, my ex bought it for me from that autograph store, and it has a certification inside showing that it's authentic. So hey, I haven't met him, but I have all their autographs.
Whatever.
Next story.
We bought this
Or is it
memory.
this?
Okay. Yes. Sorry.
Arguing.
Let's move on.
Which one do you have open?
I haven't opened
Do you
any.
want-
Oh, in full disclosure, I've been so busy. Kevin is really hosting this now because I have not been able to participate in any of the research this week.
Speaking of the Nintendo Entertainment System, there is a Lego.
Oh, this is the
Nintendo
one thing I
Entertainment
added. Shout out to my little
Yes.
brother. Shout out to Mark. He's been a guest on the podcast before. Sent me this.
So I didn't look at this because I wanted to be surprised. Please tell me this is not a real NES that's made of Lego that runs.
It does not run. I don't think.
Oh, really? Okay, I thought it was.
Definitely
one that
no.
ran.
Definitely no. Wait, no way it runs.
Okay. But it's a Lego, and well, for the price, I was hoping it actually ran, which would have been rad. Like
Yeah.
the inside's like guts is like the hardware, and then the outside would be the Lego, the shell.
But I mean, you do get to build a cartridge of Super Mario, obviously, for 114,000. I mean, basically, you know, this being 230 American US dollars is a steal based on our previous conversation. You know, you can spend $114,000 on Mario, or you can build a Lego cartridge of Mario for $230 before shipping and taxes.
Oh my god, I would buy the Lego one in a heartbeat.
All right, look, this Lego one is absolutely adorable. Like, you build an old retro tube TV on the old 70s stands. You build an entire scene of Mario. You build the NES controller. You build the cord that looks like, or maybe a cord's included. You build a functional, the flap is functional, of an NES. So you build the whole NES. You make a cartridge of Super Mario Kart.
And we've spoken about this before, how that NES design and controller gets us all the time.
Every time, like, just
Every
like,
time I see it, I'm like, I want it. I
It's
want it.
like-
I want it.
boobs and that fucking game system. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna be interested. I'm gonna be tempted.
I've purchased indie games that use the same color palette as the NES. The games are shit, but it looks like an NES. I'm like, I'll buy you.
I'm in. I'll give it a try. Yeah, exactly. So, now this is, I think, one of those. Oh no, it is. It's coming on August 1st.
Yeah.
I'm tempted. I bought that Voltron one for a little less than this, so that was about $175. That was. I'm not really even that big of a Voltron fan, but man, that was fun. Building 4 of those cats and then they come together. It's fun.
It's like the Simpsons Lego that they have out there. I'm like, oh, I would kill for that, but
Yeah,
it's
actually.
I can't get myself to spend that money. What's happening here? Scott is taking his pants off.
No, that's not true.
Oh,
Look how fun this
nice.
is. Look how fun this is. So I've got them apart so that I've got them strung around my house. So every now and again. But yeah, this was super fun to build.
oh, absolutely.
So the NES Nintendo is pretty cool as well. So yeah, we can get my mic back. Yeah, shout out to my brother. I think I mentioned it before, but did you remember this story? Did you ever get the Lego magazine?
No,
There was a
I
Lego
only
magazine.
recently got Lego.
Oh, okay. It was like the Nintendo Power of Lego.
Gotcha.
Well, there was like, they would feature kids. They would take pictures of these setups that they would create and make these scenes and whatnot, and then they would send them in, and Lego would feature them in the magazine if they picked them. And my brother built this like underwater shark thing, and he got selected.
featured?
Yeah, he was
What?
featured. It was like,
oh, that's awesome.
it was like Mark from Ohio and like 11 or 9 or however old he was or whatever. Then they sent us like a whole like big giant stack of them so he could give them to his friends and family and stuff.
oh, that's awesome.
It was like, it
Shit.
was really dope. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, cool, Mark. Take pictures. Like, send it to Lego. They'll pick you. And sure as shit, they did. I'm like, dude, that's so cool. It was really fun. He's still super into sharks and Lego. So,
Yeah, I just recently got into Lego last year because Hannah. I never had an interest in Lego. I actually never knew Lego came with instruction books. Like I had no idea. Yeah, I thought you always just build whatever you wanted. That's why I was always like, how did you build the Ghostbuster Ecto-1? Because it tells you, it comes with the pieces for it. I just assumed it was just a bunch of random. Like I like
and people figured it out.
For that reason. Like the melting beads, I love that because you can make whatever you want on whatever design you want.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I never had Lego, so I never grew up with Lego.
Canada, everything was just slightly different.
No,
I'm kidding.
No, just us. Mom's like, you want Lego for $20 or this Ninja Turtle toy? For
Lego
$20?
was real expensive, but my mom's happy I didn't get real into it. But yeah, it's awesome. I'd recommend checking out the article. Lego.com and looking for the NES. They nailed the aesthetic.
This next article is by Scott's sister. No, I don't know. Your mom did the first one. Mark did the second one.
Oh my god! Yeah, you know what? My sister probably would have known about this.
This is from CNNBusiness.com for whatever fucking reason. The reason why I chose this was because this news was so big to start off the 2020 year that even I cared about it, and now it's a far off memory from like 6 months ago.
It feels like 2 years ago that Kobe Bryant died.
Yeah, so NBA 2K21 will have a special. Kobe Bryant will be on the cover for it, which is cool. They're gonna have 2 covers, and they're gonna be hand painted by using 2 of Bryant's most famous photos for inspiration. And so he's gonna be on the cover of 2K21, which is pretty rad. But yeah, Kobe Bryant died earlier this year, and that was like huge news. Like it was headlines for weeks, and I am even watching basketball games, and they're like, because was I in a podcast at that moment? I don't remember, but I was watching watching the teams wait for 24 seconds in between to get that foul. It felt like years ago, and then there was a whole World War III was going to happen, and then there was the whole plane shot down in Iraq, and then we're all going to die, and then Corona happened, and then everything just kind of, and then Tiger King. So it's like it's been a weird year, but yeah, this happened this year, and it's weird how it got pushed to the back.
Yeah, but someone as influential as Kobe Bryant was, something as being immortalized on a video game cover is pretty trite compared to the other things you had listed off there. So it also makes sense.
Well, I mean, like I remember seeing like graffiti, like Mamba Forever and all this Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean? And I'm just saying like fuck masks everywhere, and I'm like, well, it looks like we're taking a
get off.
Now.
I'm telling you, man. I implore you, get off Twitter. You'd be
this is me walking on the street.
Yeah. They're on Twitter too. Tell them to get off Twitter. Be a ranting crazy man with Brett's in your hair and a long ass beard going, get off Twitter. For some reason, the Kobe Bryant death really affected me a whole bunch. Really shook me in a weird way. I mentioned it before at some point, but he was one of those people that I didn't really care for while he was a professional. And then afterwards, grew a really strong admiration for him. It turned out he wasn't a dickhead. Speaks multiple languages, is very intelligent, just happens to be a super...
Great father. That's the part that got me.
The girl dad thing. So, and the effect that he had on people behind the scenes. He did... Anyways, for some reason, normally celebrity deaths don't get me, but, his really did. So I am happy to see that, the remembrance is still kind of going on. So I'm with you there.
I think one of the most recent celebrity deaths that got me was Leslie Nielsen. I was like, no, God, my life. What am I going to do?
It was more like, hey, he made it pretty far.
And I guess Michael Jackson. That was a big one, too.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan.
Yeah, but, of just the music, obviously, so it didn't...
Yeah, he's a weird fucking dude, but...
Did you like any of his recent stuff, or were you like, oh, man, his greatest stuff was still, in the tank?
No, I was Bad and all the other
Thriller,
stuff.
Yeah. Black and white and all that, yeah. So, he'll be memorialized on the cover, so. All right.
Yeah. And our last news story is another Nintendo story. I love this. I love when they update the Switch, SNES, and NES library. And people online were like, oh, God, Super Mario RPG, come on, Super Mario RPG. And then you don't get it, and you get some weird-ass wrestling game. So for Nintendo, the game called The Immortal. I actually I looked at the trailer. It looks like a Nintendo game that I probably would have rented and been like, why am I doing this?
Yep.
Is gaming for me? Is this something I should do? It doesn't look good.
It does not.
But
I'm gonna see if we have the same positive.
well, no, I was gonna say, but I'm happy. I don't care how bad the games are. I'm happy they're doing it.
Oh, sure. The music in this game is awesome. That's
The
what
Immortal?
I want to say. Yeah, whatever the hell they picked in that trailer, there's some good tracks in this song. Or in this game.
I'm just happy that they're keeping it updated. They could have easily said your library and that's it. Fuck off, eat a pickle.
Yeah.
But they're still updating it. They're gonna have to get through the shit games before they get to the good games.
You know, this wrestling game that's in here for the Super Nintendo that you just mentioned briefly.
Yeah,
is the
it looks familiar.
It's exactly. It's the kind of game that your friend had that for whatever you had a good time playing it and like you wanted it. Then you play it on the emulator years later, and you're like, "What a piece of shit!" Like,
I did that with my bear saliva, Genesis Mini. I remember playing Royal Rumble, Hell in a Cell, all these WWF games.
Okay,
and I got them all on the Genesis Mini, and I'm like, all right, let me play Royal Rumble. Oh, it's awful. Let me try this other game. Oh, it's the same game, just different roster.
Yeah.
All right, let me try this other game. Oh, it's literally the same game, just different modes. Instead of like Royal Rumble, you have King of the Ring, and I'm like, it's the same game, the same sprites. They're awful, but I remember having such a good time with these games.
Right.
This game isn't. It's Natsun Championship Wrestling, so it's not WWF.
Natsume.
And it's not WCW. It's Natsuni. So, right on. And of course, I was surprised to see this. The big game that was released is Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, that's a biggie. Nice.
It's good. I beat this game on the SNES Mini. When I got the NES, all the minis, my thing was like, I'm going to beat all the games on this. And Donkey Kong Country made me want to kill myself.
That's a good game. It's hard.
It's good, but it's hard as fuck.
Yeah.
It's super hard, like ridiculously hard. And all these games from back then were hard. I don't know how the hell we did that. But yeah, it's cool that they're still updating it. So I'm always for it. No matter how shitty the game is, the fact that they remember it exists. Remember, the Wii U Virtual Shop, they're like, it took them 3 years to release Super Mario Brothers 3 again, and then nothing. And I was willing to buy these games. Like, so now the fact that they're putting it included with the online subscription, hey man.
I know.
Do we must? I mean, I would like Super Mario RPG, don't get me wrong, but you know. Or Legendary Wings instead of this weird immortal game.
Yes, I know. For the last 15 years, it seems like, whenever the Wii started, it's like, please give us a Netflix and just open up the floodgates of the 16 and 18-bit. Just give us all of them.
Yeah.
I understand. It's not that simple, but boy, isn't that the dream?
Yeah, Ninja Turtles. Oh, my God, imagine Ninja Turtles Arcade on the Switch.
All sorts of fun stuff.
Oh, my God. Online play. That's all I ever wanted. Fucking Bubble Bobble. I would kill for Bubble Bobble on the Switch. But no, because Bubble Bobble for Friends just came out, so it's all part of that fucking collection.
Well.
Anyways, that's all for
news.
I do have a bit of sales.
Oh, okay. Kevin's got some sales.
A little bit of sales. Because I made sales for the last 3 weeks. I had to delete them all. So this week I said, fuck it, I'm going to do a small one. Far Cry 3 Classic Edition is a PlayStation Store. They're having a July savings. And I'm going to make my sales smaller because I realized that they go on for too long. Far Cry 3 Classic Edition is $2.99, 90% off. Far Cry 4 is $5.99. Knack 2 is $4.99. And Medieval, the remake, is $14.99.
Those are some good prices. $3 for Far Cry 3 and $6 for Far Cry 4. It's a good.
I bought
those are
both
good
those
deals.
games. I have no idea what they are. So I was like, why not? I mean, I know of them. I just never played them before.
Far Cry 3, I want to play it for a flamethrower scene that I've just heard described.
Fair.
It sounds like Saints Row absurd.
Okay.
Like not purple penises or anything, but their music choice sounds just sounds fun. So
I'll check it out. I mean, I bought Persona 5 for PlayStation because it was on sale. And I was like, let me try this. I haven't got to it. It was like 4 weeks ago. I gotta stop buying games. And Medieval is the other game I really want because I love Medieval, but it's $14.99 US and Canada it's $20. It's still too much for a game I don't really like.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it, but if it hits that sweet spot of like 10, I'll buy it. Here's some Nintendo games. Not a lot.
Ooh, you got a banger in here.
Outlast Bundle of Terror, which is $6.24, and Outlast 2 is $7.49. They are both until July 23rd, and they are both great games. Outlast 1 is a awesome game. Outlast 2 is weird, but it's the Portal 2 to Portal 1, where Portal 1 is like, and Portal 2 is as well. Okay, bad example. It's just longer than the first one.
Oh, okay. More of awesome. More great.
More of awesome, but they kind of fudge the story. Get them both. They're both wicked games. But Outlast 1 is my favorite. And this big one is Crypt of the Necro Dancer is $3.99. And of course I bought it. Right away.
It's awesome. It's dope. Danny Barwanowski did the soundtrack. It's excellent.
Yeah, this is my 5th time buying this game. And I was playing with Hannah earlier today because she likes the dancing skeletons when they put their hands up.
Oh, yeah.
And she's talking to me, and I'm like, stop talking, because I'm trying to keep the beat.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yes, we have to go this way. Like, I'm trying to talk to her as the song's going. And it's actually, I had this on the iPhone. Remember I was telling you about the latency that I felt because I had the Bluetooth headphones?
Yeah.
And my audio is like 0, like precise. My visual was like 125 millisecond latency because I was looking at the heartbeat. Does that calibration at the beginning?
Yep.
But my audio, man, I got the beat. I am down. And it has Link in it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
They call it Linka, but it's Link. Clearly, it's
I only have Necrodancer on PC. Although I had the Necrodancer Hyrule, which I gushed about. That's an A+ game as well.
Yeah, I thought it was this when I saw it. And I'm like, because it says Nintendo Switch Edition, and I'm like, whatever, I'll still buy it. It's $5 in Canada, it's still worth it. And for you iOS and Android lovers out there, because I spoke about this just recently, Bubble Bobble Classic is free. Now, this game looks fucking sketchy as shit, let me tell you, because you start it and you're like, what do you mean you want me to play for, like, it's a free-to-play game, right? It's weird. But it's by Taito. It's an official Taito release, right? So you start it, and it's like classic mode, and then there's like a extra mode, and at the top it says like +5 power mode, where you got to spend money on. And I'm like, this looks sketchy as fuck. But when you start the game up, it says Taito, which is the creators or whatever of Bubble Bobble. So it's an official licensed Bubble Bobble game that's free to play that I've heard no one speak about. Right?
Yeah. I'll if I think about it, I'll download it.
But it's like it's legit. And you play it, and if you beat the 100 levels, then it unlocks a different mode, like a super Bubble.
I like
Bubble
Bubble Bobble. It's awesome,
right? But the only thing that sucks is you have to beat it in one sitting that I've seen so far, which isn't going to happen because it's 100 levels.
Hey, sometimes I will eat some too much Chipotle, and the next day
just play Bubble Bobble.
I'm just better off just sitting on the toilet playing Bubble Bobble. So,
and the controls aren't bad. So there's a swipe left to right because you're going to go left and right. So there's no like analog. You could just swipe the screen, and then you could press the button, or you can do auto shoot. So just
nice.
So it's not bad. It's Bubble Bobble on the phone, which is pretty damn close because I was just complaining about not getting Bubble Bobble on the Switch. So it's a free version, which is rad.
It's better
than it's the same song, same graphics. It's the NES version. So looks sketchy as fuck. Gonna throw that out there. It's legit. And that's all for game deals. Thank you.
All right, cool. All right, well, what you been playing, man?
All right, so I've been meaning to talk about this game for the last 3 weeks, which is I did that. I forgot. I did that. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, did you? All right on.
What's that one?
I beat Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh, okay, fun.
And so for all those assholes I've been fighting with on Twitter, this game is not complete. It is not complete. I've had people tell, because before I bought it, I was like, is it worth to buy this game when it's incomplete? And they're like, well, Back to the Future 1 and 2, technically an incomplete movie? No, because 2 and 3, not 1 and 2. Well, I guess 1 and 2 technically is, because they ended that on a cliffhanger. They only made 2 after, but 2 and 3 was filmed at the same time. So it bleeds into each other. Maybe I'm the asshole. No, I'm not. Because Final Fantasy VII exists. It's not like this is a Back to the Future where it's the first time you've seen this.
Okay, all right. This better be a. This is an uninteresting argument so far, Kevin.
So, the game.
Fuck that guy on
awesome.
Twitter. Yes, you just talked about the game. Fuck that guy on Twitter. You're right. He's wrong.
The game is awesome. I put like 67 hours. There's still more shit for me to do in it.
Okay.
But I want to give it a break and never come back to it because I always say that. I'll come back to it later. I won't. I know I won't. No matter how much I want to.
You'll buy it again, but you won't come back to it.
I'll buy it again, yes. Great game. Loved it. Loved everything. Graphics, voices, music, everything about the game. It has that cool thing that I love that they introduced in Final Fantasy 15 where you got to buy records. Like, I love when games make you buy records. And it's even better when you buy records of a game of music that you know.
Okay.
Like, it's a collectible. Buy records and you can hear it. Fucking awesome. I'm in.
That's cool.
Especially if it's music that you know. Like Final Fantasy 15, you can buy the soundtrack for other Final Fantasy games as a collectible. So you can hear like Final Fantasy 8 battle music as you're driving your car in 15, which is rad.
Yes.
So in this game, it's all Final Fantasy 7 music that's remixed. Like, obviously not MIDI music. It's actually fully orchestrated. And it's great. And I did all that. The game just ends. And it doesn't...
I heard it had a controversial ending.
It does, where they're like, oh, fuck, right, Sephiroth. I don't think I'm ruining the game by mentioning Sephiroth's in the game. But it's like the game was like, fuck, dude, we forgot to put Sephiroth as like the last boss. Throw him in there. Throw him in there. It doesn't have to make sense. Just fucking throw him in there. And it doesn't make sense at all. Because all of a sudden, Tiff and Bear are like, oh, there he is. You've never mentioned his name once during this whole time. But whatever. I let that pass. But the game, as I stand, is not complete. It is a complete Final Fantasy Remake Part 1. But the motherfucking game's not called Part 1, is it? It's called Final Fantasy VII Remake. So that game is not complete. Final Fantasy VII is complete. The original classic one. Original classic, redundant. Final Fantasy VII Remake, not complete. Okay. Now, what bugs me is that I don't know when it's going to come out.
Never.
And I don't know if I'll remember what happened in this one because they changed a lot. So it's not really a remake. It's a reimagining. Like, they added new characters, new things, and it's weird to explain. It's a remake where they took the shell of the original game and they expanded on that, which is good. But they did change a lot of things. And those 62 hours I played must have been the first 3 hours in the original game.
I've heard that the first 3 hours is the entire game.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Midgar, is that right? It's all Midgar?
Midgar, yeah.
Oh, look at me. Look at me.
Look at you.
Never played Final Fantasy. No, Midgar is a word.
But I loved it. And it's pretty up there of my game of the year so far. Because it's probably the only new game I played of this year. Until I get Resident Evil 3.
Okay.
But that game's a little short, so I've heard. The other game that I played was by accident. I think I told you my friend's son accidentally bought Doom Eternal.
What, you just slipped and fell on a dick? Where is that from?
Isn't that from an Eminem song?
It's like a joke from a movie or something. Okay. I don't know. I accidentally played something. I'm like, what? I accidentally slept with him. No, you didn't. Did you trip and fall on a dick?
It's like from wasn't that from Clerks or something like that?
Oh, maybe that, but that wasn't a joke. I didn't put a number in there. Don't put words in my mouth. It's a different dick.
What I'm thinking of is
Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
When in doubt, Kevin's gonna reference Kevin Smith, right?
We both had the same initials. So it is. My buddy's kid,
Kindred
who's
Hearts.
2.
Spears. Sorry. Your buddy's 2.
My buddy's not 2. My buddy's kid is 2. He accidentally bought Doom Eternal. Have I mentioned this?
Let's say no.
No. Okay. So me and my buddy share accounts on PlayStation. So he has.
You mentioned
he has 400 games.
This is kind of familiar. Maybe you did. Maybe.
Probably.
Let's go.
Anyways, so he has 400 games from my account, and I have 3 of his. Fair deal, right? So I'm like, sweet, Doom Eternal. I've been wanting to play Doom Eternal. I like the remake of Doom. The font, the text is too small. I can't read it.
I've heard
and
that.
I can't play it because I don't know how to climb a wall.
That sounded like me in that Metro game where you're like, go up to a ladder, or you were like, you need to use a flashlight.
Lighter?
Yeah, lighter, that's what it was. I'm like, oh, that
So,
sucks.
yeah, so Doom Eternal, it's like pop up, little tiny letters. And I'm like, are you telling me to press X? Or to press circle? I don't know.
Cross,
I'm trying to-
excuse me.
Cross. So I'm trying, I don't know what to do. At one point, you're supposed to jump in the elevator shaft and press something to grab onto, but I don't know what that something is. And when I Googled it, people are talking about different scenes, not mine. So I still don't know what I'm supposed to press. So I can't play this game because even my like, go here and do this, I'm like, huh? What are you saying?
That's too bad. Well, Kevin, I don't know what to tell you there, man. Get a high resolution TV and sit closer.
That's the thing.
I don't know what to tell you.
And this reminded me of Dead Rising when that game first came out on 360, because 360 originally had the component cables, right? They didn't go HD right away.
I think composite.
Composite cables.
Yes.
No, you're right, composite.
Yeah.
But they didn't go HD right away. And Dead Rising was so blurry and small to see on a tube TV that I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you want me to do, Gabe. Until I got an HD TV because of Dead Rising. Because I'm like, I don't know what you're saying, and I want to play you.
Yeah.
Same thing with Doom. Like now it's like, oh, I need 4K. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Because I can't. But the game is big. But the font in the menu, which is cool because it's Bethesda, they do everything in that options menu for everybody. You're missing a left arm, we'll fucking put a right arm mode in there.
Well,
you're colorblind, motherfucker.
Whoa. Did you increase the text then?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It went from like to
Well, you really stretched this out.
Or what?
The bit. Like, you could have been like, yeah, the text fucking sucks. Pro tip, go to the menus and turn it up. Okay, let's talk about it.
It doesn't do shit.
Oh, it doesn't do shit?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Why aren't you talking about this out of the gate?
So it does all the colorblind options. There's every option in there, which I appreciate for people who can't see colors and all that, but there's no large font.
That's weird.
Which is weird, right?
That is weird.
So I can talk about it.
Okay.
I haven't gotten far. And the last game I played,
whatever.
Jeez, that Bud Light's really kicking you.
Oh, whatever.
Is Animal Crossing New Horizon, which my wife got me for Father's Day, or my daughter did. And the first thing I said when I saw it was, oh no, because I know what I'm going to get myself into. I haven't played Animal Crossing since New Leaf, the 3DS, and I know exactly the type of game it is where I'll go in and do my routine and then turn it off. I'll go in, hit rocks, plant plants, go fishing. Now they have little checkpoints, and I'll just turn it off and I'll touch it. And my wife's like, why aren't you playing Animal Crossing? I'm like, oh, it's because I played 4 hours already. And I planted. The stores are closed after 6. I can't do anything. I'm not gonna go fishing all night. I did it the first night. But the cool thing is now I created a character for Hannah, so because now she plays games with me, which is sweet. And now she does all the shit I don't want to do. I'm like, hey, why don't you go shake some trees and get some fruits? But when she sells it, she gets the money. But now she does like the whole like the museum, giving him bugs and all that. I'm like, why don't you go we can go swimming now? Why don't you go swimming and find some shells? Because I fucking hate swimming because it's boring. And that's what I play every day. Animal Crossing New Horizon.
Cool. Animal Crossing it is.
Yeah.
Did you get into Stardew Valley? Did you?
Yeah.
Did you love that? Okay.
I love Stardew Valley.
All right. Well,
and this game is not going to allow me to play the other game because it's Animal Crossing. It's one of those games you have to go in every day.
Yeah, you now have a commitment. Someone gave you a pet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Kevin, I don't know what I meant by these notes I wrote down because this was so long ago when I did this, but it said I've got Katana Zero, and it said I fucked up, no biggie, phew. The game was so good.
Oh, you spoke about that last time. You got rid of your katana at one point.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Whew. Yeah. All right. So I've gotten further. That game is still excellent. It really scratches that. It's really a puzzle-solving game that You need to have a good dexterity to play it. Good reaction times and stuff. It's very fun, very satisfying. I've played very little video games, maybe an hour each week over the last 3 weeks. Also, the Messenger came to Xbox Game Pass.
The Messenger.
It's like a Ninja Gaiden kind of game.
Okay.
And like it's very 8-bit right now, and I think this is the game where maybe like halfway through it turns like more 16-bit, and there's like portals, and the graphics get even better.
Oh, that's cool.
I think that's the gimmick of this one. But so far it's excellent, like super fun. I really like it. I mentioned Bloodstained Curse of the Moon too. That was $15. Happy to pay that. Inti Creates is one of my favorites. If you look at what Inti Creates has put out on the Switch, like the Blaster Master Zero is an example. They've got a lot of stuff on.
Oh, they're the ones that did that. Okay.
Yeah,
Blaster Master Zero was rad. Fuck,
they're
good.
Just putting out banger after banger. So, anyways, seems like they hit it out another one out of the park here. And then I just wanted to touch a little bit on The Last of Us and why this has been like on my backlog. I've really wanted to dig in and play this game eventually.
Okay.
It's, heralded, especially the first one, as one of the greatest games of that generation, if not the best game of that generation. From a story perspective, character development, Naughty Dog does a lot of good stuff. I like Uncharted, or I like Uncharted 4, or at least 15 chapters of it or whatever. So, it sounds too intense. I don't want to play it. It sounds too intense. It's like, I don't want to watch Saw. I don't want to watch horror movies. I don't like creepy stuff. I don't like sad movies.
Okay, that's fair.
And it sounds like Last of Us 2 is just like super brutal. And I'm going, you know what?
The score was really good.
But I'm going, you know what? I'm out. Like I'm not going to